All right, let's talk about something we deal with every single day, the price tag. We're going to pull back the curtain on those numbers and figure out what really, truly goes into the final price you pay for, well, anything. Let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? You glance at a receipt, and you see the original price, then a discount, then some taxes you've never heard of. It kind of feels like you're trying to crack a secret code. Well, guess what? It's not a secret. Every single one of those numbers tells a story, and today we're going to make that story make sense.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to follow one item on its entire journey, all the way from when the shopkeeper first buys it to the second you swipe your card and take it home. I promise, by the end of this, that receipt won't look like a code at all. It'll look like a roadmap.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics, the foundation of every single transaction. For a seller, everything boils down to one of two outcomes, and it all depends on two little numbers, the cost price and the selling price. Profit. I mean, that's the whole point of being in business, right? The cost price, or CP, is simply what the seller paid for the item. The selling price, SP, is what you pay for it. So if that selling price is higher than the cost price, boom, the seller made a profit. It's as simple as that. Now, what about the flip side? Well, sometimes a seller has to sell something for less than they paid for it. Maybe it's last season's model and they need to clear it out, or maybe it got a little damaged. When that happens, they take a loss. It's the exact opposite of a profit. Look at how this breaks down. It's really just simple math. For a profit, you take the selling price and subtract the cost. For a loss, you just flip those numbers around. You take the cost and subtract what it's sold for. That one little calculation decides everything. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Businesses don't just care about the exact dollar amount they made. They live and breathe percentages. And here is the golden rule, the one thing you absolutely have to remember from all of this. Profit or loss percentage is always calculated based on that original cost price. That number is the bedrock. Everything else is built on top of it.
So, cost price is super important. We get that. But is the price a shopkeeper pays for an item their only cost? Oh no, not by a long shot. There's a whole other layer of expenses that gets factored in.
Just think about it for a second. That product didn't just magically appear on the shelf, right? It had to be shipped to the store. Someone had to unpack it. Maybe it needed some assembly. All of that costs money. We call those overhead expenses. And trust me, they're a very real part of the true cost of an item. And the way you figure out the real cost is really straightforward. You just start with that base cost price, what the seller paid for the item itself. Then you just stack all those extra costs right on top. And what you get is the total cost price. That is the real number they have to beat to make a profit. Let's make this real with an example. So, a shop buys an item for 6,500 rupees, but it costs another 700 rupees just for transportation. So their real actual cost isn't 6,500 at all, it's 7,200. Any profit they hope to make has to start after that 7,200 mark. Okay, now for the fun part, the part we all as customers are waiting for, the sale. You see these huge discount signs and you have to wonder, how on earth are they still making money? Well, it all comes down to a little bit of retail strategy. And that strategy revolves around something called the marked price. You might also know it as the list price or the sticker price. Basically, it's that first price you see on the tag, before any sale. And, spoiler alert, it is almost always set way higher than their total cost, completely on purpose. Come on, you've seen these signs a million times. They're big, they're loud, and they're designed to grab your attention and make you feel like you're getting the deal of a lifetime. It's an incredibly powerful marketing tool. But here's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When a store screams 50% off, what are they taking 50% off of? Is it what they paid for it? No way. The answer to this is the real secret to how retail actually works. And there's your answer. The discount always comes off that higher marked price, never their actual cost price. That gap, that buffer between the two prices, is what allows them to offer a huge, attractive discount while still making sure the final price is above what it costs them. That's how you have a big sale and a healthy profit at the exact same time. It's brilliant, really. So we've got costs, overheads, profit, and discounts. We are almost there. There's just one more thing that gets tacked on at the very, very end of the transaction. Yep, taxes.
Now, you might know this as a value-added tax, or VAT. But let's look at the goods and services tax, or GST.
The whole point of it was to simplify a whole mess of older, confusing taxes into one single, unified system that's added to pretty much everything you buy.
But even this one tax has a few different flavors. See, if you're buying something locally, inside your own state, that tax actually gets split between the central government, that's CGST, and the state government, that's SGST. But if you buy something from another state, it's just one tax called IGST that goes straight to the central government.
So let's think about the most common situation. You're just buying something from a local store. If the GST rate is, let's say, 12%, it's not actually one 12% tax. It's really 6% that goes to the central government and another 6% that goes to the state government. The store just bundles it all up for you so you only see one final tax number.
Okay, that was a lot, but we have all the pieces of the puzzle now. So let's do a super quick recap and follow that product one last time, from start to finish.
So, step 1. It all starts with the seller. They calculate their total cost, that's the purchase price, plus all those overheads. Then they set a selling price that's high enough to give them a nice profit.
Step 2, the marketing kicks in. They put a much higher marked price on the tag. That gives them the wiggle room to offer a big discount that feels amazing to you, the customer, but still protects their bottom line. And finally, step 3, you get to the checkout. The cashier rings up the discounted price, and then, ding, the tax gets added right on top. That final number is the total on your receipt, and it's the very end of a journey that started with a simple cost price.
So there you go. The code is cracked. It's not some big mystery. It's just a logical flow from cost to profit, from marketing to tax. So the next time you're out shopping, take a closer look at that receipt. You're not going to see a secret code anymore. You're going to see a story. And now, you know exactly how to read it.